Hello friends, I'm glad to welcome you on Holly Lolly's channel, and today we're going to talk about things that are absolutely okay to do in other countries, but for some reason are embarrassing and shameful in Japan. In the first place, I would put the fact that in Japan it is embarrassing to give flowers. It is considered awkward. Let's analyze why we give flowers on absolutely different holidays, and in Japan it is considered uncomfortable and sometimes even inappropriate. Here imagine the situation through the eyes of a Japanese man and a Japanese woman. A guy on a date brings flowers, and the girl immediately begins to think how to walk with these flowers, how to carry them, where to put it home. For the Japanese it is considered such that they give unnecessary bedbugs and care, and that in this way they can embarrass the girl. This is why it is not customary here to give girls flowers on dates. Also, flowers in Japan often have some special meaning. For example, chrysanthemums or white lilies are given at funerals. While in my country red carnations are considered mourning flowers, in Japan it is white lilies and chrysanthemums. Also, on this topic, we had such a situation with an acquaintance of mine quite recently. Unlike me, my acquaintance is single, and she went on a date with a Japanese man. A Japanese man who is very knowledgeable about our culture and knows that it is very nice for us to be given flowers. But I gather that he had never done this before. He ended up coming to the date with 2 packages, and as it turned out, one bag actually had flowers in it, and the second was a vase. My friend was just shocked. This man thought that if he gave flowers, then perhaps they will have nowhere to put them, so he brought a vase. This once again proves that the Japanese are thoughtful to the smallest detail. They calculate everything a few steps ahead. So this Japanese was very thoughtful and gave her a vase at once. And then my friend unpacked a bag of flowers and took out a bouquet, which surprised the Japanese man very much. He asked her what she was doing, and she said that she wanted everyone to see what a gorgeous bouquet she had. The Japanese man thought that it was not quite appropriate, but the girl assured him that this is the whole high when everyone looks at her bouquet. And there's a cultural difference right there. She wants to walk with this beautiful bouquet and that everyone looks at her, and he, like a true Japanese, does not want to feel the close looks on himself. He wanted to give the bouquet and follow the tradition that the girl was used to, but decided to give it wrapped so that it would not embarrass anyone. Yes, the Japanese believe that if you go with a bouquet, for example, in the subway, you can disturb others. As a rule, it is not customary to wear a backpack on your back in public. It is immediately noticeable that when adults are traveling, they all always put their backpacks forward, and there may be schoolchildren who play with these backpacks and hit everyone. Being late in Japan is one of the most serious violations of unspoken rules. For the Japanese it is very shameful, and it is considered that you do not value someone's time if you are late. If in Europe, for example, you have a working day starts at 9 a.m., it is customary to come somewhere 5 minutes before the start or clearly at 9. And if you are late even 5 minutes, no one will deal with it. But not in Japan. In Japan it is considered normal that if you have to work at 9 a.m., it is at least to come at 8:45 or even earlier, to show your respect to your bosses and colleagues. To show that I have come, I am not wasting your time, and during this time I will get ready, change clothes, and adjust to the work process. Here it is a shame to come 5 minutes before the start of the working day. It will be considered that you have disregarded the unspoken rules. If you have scheduled a meeting in Japan, then be sure that your interlocutor will come at least 15 minutes in advance. That's why everyone in Japan works clearly and values their time very much. As I told you earlier in the videos, I often visit Kazakhstan, and I saw a very big contrast with the Japanese. Here, being half an hour late is considered absolutely normal, and often everyone refers to traffic jams. But I'm just comparing for myself that the Japanese also travel very long distances and still arrive early. I often go to the gym in the evenings in Japan, and I already know when some trainers replace others. And I often see trainers arrive about 40 minutes before the changeover, although his shift starts much later. These are the unspoken rules that everyone follows. Often in Japanese companies for promotion, more can count on the one who always comes to the workplace in advance and leaves later than the boss. Even if colleagues are more experienced in something or do the work faster, their unpunctuality can be a reason for denial of promotion. In our countries, public saunas or baths work on the principle of come and relax. But in Japan, if you have not performed a special ritual before entering the onsen, it is considered something shameful, even disgraceful. How does one actually take an onsen? Onsen is a natural spring with mineral water, and for the Japanese it is really a whole ritual, not just to wash or relax, but even to purify oneself spiritually, not only with the body. Before you get to the onsen, there is a shower area where there are small seats, and everyone has their own shower. The Japanese wash exactly sitting down so as not to splash water on others. They take soap, shampoo and loofah and wash their entire body thoroughly. Here you cannot get away with a 5-minute sprinkling of water. After that, they wash off the foam and only then you can enjoy the onsen. It is valuable and it is not just a bath in the usual sense, it is a hot natural springs filled with mineral water, which is known for its healing properties. People come here not only to relax, but also to regain their strength and improve their health. The water here flows naturally, it is not changed every 10 minutes, so it is important that every person entering this water is clean. And, by the way, in Japanese houses the bathroom is usually divided into 2 zones, a separate bath and a shower. Before you get into the bathtub, you must be sure to take a shower and then you can take a bath. The Japanese are ashamed of the phrase I love you and in general somehow to express their emotions brightly. If for us to say I love you is a common thing, for the Japanese it is something sacred. This is something that should not be said out loud, but better to show by their actions, daily to prove to their partner in actions the manifestation of their feelings and emotions. For example, the husband and children can wash the dishes after themselves, clean up after themselves and thereby express gratitude to the wife and mother just by their actions, how they care for her. Mom carefully and lovingly packs and prepares food for the children and husband at work, and as if in the preparation of food she puts all her love and care. And when at work her husband or children at school and kindergarten open and see how beautifully everything is arranged there, they will just accept this warmth and care. But to talk so openly about their feelings, it's still not about the Japanese. Also, for example, when couples just start dating and go out together, it is also very awkward and unacceptable to say I love you, because suddenly the person you are dating does not feel the same feelings, and he will be forced to say this phrase back to you without feeling something inside. So to remove this awkwardness between Japanese people, they would rather show everything in actions, but they will not say openly this phrase. We have already touched on the fact that there are unspoken rules in Japan that people are not late. So, there is also, I would say, an unspoken dress code. What may be perfectly normal in other countries, like a tracksuit or even a slight carelessness in dress, in Japan may cause shame or embarrassment. Particularly strict rules apply to the work dress code. For example, even in summer, no matter how hot it is, girls do not open shoulders and cleavage, but they wear skirts of any length. They can be very short. The same goes for the work dress code. It really shows you as a person. Japanese people are very meticulous in choosing their business attire for work so that everything is perfect. I've also often asked a paste of questions about how office workers don't get cold in the winter. I didn't see a single Japanese person wearing a jacket on top, and it turns out they wear a thermal vest under their jacket or shirt. These vests are often heated. The Japanese come up with a lot of things not to wear jackets, and to always look rank and beautiful. And in summer, I don't know exactly, but there's probably some life hacks too. Girls are also very beautiful and meticulous about their attire, but Japanese men always amaze me. In Japan, they take cleanliness and order very seriously literally everywhere, and it should show in everything. Imagine a typical food court. People bought food, ate quickly, and very often left everything and left, and then the staff goes and cleans it all up, wipes the tables. That's true, but not about Japan and not about the Japanese. Even in an ordinary McDonald's or in some shopping center with food courts, everyone considers it a duty to clean up after themselves. Japanese people don't even think that someone should come and clean up after you. Everyone ate, took their tray, sorted the garbage, threw it away. If there was any liquid left, it is poured into a special sink, and then you even come and wipe the table after you. And no one thinks of leaving garbage, everyone cleans up, and that's why the Japanese have perfect cleanliness. Or, for example, let's take a day off and a picnic in nature. People sat down, had a rest, ate something, and left garbage. And as we know, in Japan there are practically no garbage cans, but the Japanese still take some garbage bags, clean up everything after themselves, bring it home and sort this garbage at home. So, of course, you have to start from yourself first. And when people ask why the Japanese are so clean, and why our countries are so dirty in contrast, it all starts with people, and it is in their heads that they always have to clean up. And, of course, not all our people leave trash behind, but again, a lot depends on people's mentality and their culture. Perhaps, as a separate point, I wanted to mention not wearing medical masks. Yes, I realize that we have all gone through the pandemic stage, and the medical mask has not become something out of the ordinary, but I remember when I first came to Japan in 2013, I was amazed by their culture, and of course the first thing that surprised me was that people wear medical masks. For me it was a kind of shock. Even then I began to learn the reasons for wearing masks. Naturally, the Japanese take care of the people around them. If someone has even the slightest symptoms of a cold, a medical mask always saves the day. This is to avoid infecting the people around them. Also, as I told you earlier, Japan has a lot of different blooming periods. Everything blooms and a lot of people have allergies. And that's why people wear masks to protect themselves from pollen. I also asked a Japanese acquaintance how comfortable or uncomfortable it is to wear masks. She said it's very comfortable and added that, for example, you don't put on makeup in the morning and put on a mask and you don't have to think about how you look all day. Another point is to hide your emotions. For example, people don't want to be watched and see what emotions they use, so the mask just makes this barrier when you don't want to show people unnecessary emotions. It's also part of the Japanese culture, the Japanese mentality, which was formed long before anyone started talking about a pandemic. Masks are sold literally on every corner, in pharmacies, supermarkets, in vending machines, in souvenir stores. They can be either plain monochrome or with different cute faces and prints. And lastly, I would like to refute, in my opinion, a myth. I've seen so many videos on the internet about how Japanese people never eat on the go, never drink anything on the go, because in Japan it's considered shameful and no one does it. As far as I'm concerned, I meet people every day in Japan who eat something on the go and drink something on the go. But let's break it down. Sure, if you have ramen brewed and you're going to go eat with chopsticks and you're going to litter, then yes, the Japanese don't do that with their food. But some kind of snacking in the form of a candy bar or having some kind of drink, that's what the Japanese do. Of course, I see Japanese people buying beautiful lunches at lunchtime, sitting on benches and eating them leisurely. Maybe because of this there is a myth that no one eats anything on the go. But if your food doesn't disturb the people around you, no one will say anything to you. I categorize that as a myth. If there's anything I haven't talked about or mentioned today, please write in the comments. Your opinion is very important to me. Thank you all very much for watching. Like, subscribe to the channel, and see you in new videos. Bye bye.